Hi everyone! Today I'm going to share how to make this shaker card using the Happy Big and Bold die set along with the For You die set. If you want to know how to make this, stay tuned. To make this card, the first thing you're going to need is the Big and Bold Happy Birthday die set. We're just going to be using the Happy and we're going to pair it with the For You word dies. So our sentiment will say Happy for You. And then you'll need some pattern paper and adhesive. Anything you like is great. So the first thing we're going to do is die cut our main Happy sentiment. So as I mentioned, we're going to be using this Big and Bold Happy Birthday die, and I have some pattern paper here. I went ahead and die cut this, and this is the Happy die sentiment. And we're actually not going to be using this part, we're going to be using the negative, but definitely keep this and make another card with this because you get a 2-for-1. And the other important thing is there's going to be little inserts of the letters, and you want to hold on to those because when we make our shaker, that's going to help the letters look a little more like what they're supposed to. The part we're going to do is take a piece of acetate. So now we're going to start making our shaker. So take the piece of acetate and I just trimmed this. I trimmed this card panel to be 4.5 inches this way and 6 inches that way. And I just trimmed a piece of acetate to be a little bit smaller than that. And we are going to glue that. I use liquid glue and put on the end. The only thing I would recommend is not to put too much that it comes outside because then your little shaker bits can stick to it. So I'm going to adhere this down, and then if I have any acetate coming off the card, I'll just trim that down so it's not peeking through. So the next thing we're going to do is going to add in the inserts for the letters. A little trick that I like to do is put the die cut on top, or like it kind of fits like a little puzzle inside the die cut. And that'll just help me know where to place the insert so I'm not like trying to guess. And then I just place it on. You could use tweezers. I'm honestly just use my fingers. I haven't really gotten the hang of using tweezers too much. So I just place that in there. And then when it's done, you can take it off. And I feel like that's a lot easier than trying to guess where it goes. That's our letters, and now we're going to work on making the shaker part. So I'm going to flip it over, and the next step would be to take some foam tape, and we're going to make a border to make sure we can create a fence for the shaker pieces. Base, well, not the base, but the background of the shaker. So I have a piece of orange cardstock. I just chose this because I thought it would be a nice contrast to the front, so it'll look like this for the shaker. And I'm just going to trim it down a little bit so that it'll just be behind it and not show anything outside. So I'm going to trim it to be the same size, which is 4.5 by 6 inches. All right, so before I add the shaker pieces, I'm going to peel off the tape. You can do this in any order. I like to do this first just because if I have the shakers inside, sometimes when I peel off the tape, they kind of move around and stick. You do have to be a little bit careful when you're pouring it, but you can see which way works better for you. Shaker mix, it has like oranges and pinks and corals. I thought it would complement really nicely with the pattern paper and the orange. Of course, you can use any sequence. I just pour it in the middle. And I also noticed with shaker cards, it's a little bit better to have more than less because it just has more that's shaken around. So I'll just do a little bit more. And then what I do is I take my panel and I line it up. And since it's already sticky from the foam tape, I just line it up and hope for the best. Just kidding. I line it up and I press down. That looks pretty even. So then, okay. And that's our shaker. So cute. And lots of movement. And now we can finish decorating our front of our card. All right, the next part we're going to do is decorate the front with another sentiment. I wanted to say happy for you. So I'm using the For You word dies from Emily Moore. I'm going to use the smaller one at the top because I think that'll fit nicely right in the corner of the panel. I use the same colors just to keep the same scheme. So for the background, like shadow part, I have orange, and then I cut out the For You in the same matching. Because we're going to have the shadow die, it won't blend in too much with the background. Okay, so I add a little bit of foam tape. I also added some glue on top. Sometimes I do this because I think it gives me a little bit of extra few seconds to just place it just how I want. Sometimes with the foam it just sticks right away. So I think I'm going to place it right here. So I'm going to stick that on like that. And so now it says happy for you. I really like this combination together because I think it can be used for so many different things, like a new job or passing an exam or just happy for you. It could even work for a birthday card because there's always happiness for a birthday card. So I like that it can be like a multi-occasion card. So at this point, you could totally just put this on a card base and it will be done. I like layers and I really like to have a matting around my cards. So I have another piece of orange. It's the same one that I used for this. I'm just going to mat it. There's a really small border around. I was actually going to embellish with sequins, but then I remembered that in the part of the Happy Birthday die set, we actually get a few different options for the eye and birthday. There's the circle, which is the normal one, a star, and a heart. So I actually cut that a few times with scrap, and I thought that would be really cute, like embellishment around the side. I love to use scraps when I can because otherwise they just pile up. And I think it will just add a little bit of cute factor to the card. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere some of that just randomly throughout the card. There you go. We have our super cute shaker card. And I just love how it turned out. Thanks for watching.